At Naturich Labs, we prioritize safety, efficiency, and compliance in all workplace operations. Forklifts are essential tools in our facility, helping us transport materials and streamline production. However, improper operation can lead to serious injuries, fatalities, and costly damages. This training is designed to equip you with the knowledge and skills needed to operate forklifts safely and confidently while adhering to OSHA regulations and Naturich Labs' specific safety protocols. Throughout this course, we'll cover forklift hazards, best practices, inspections, load handling, stability, and pedestrian safety. Our goal is to ensure a safe working environment for everyone. Let's get started. In this training, we will cover the essential aspects of forklift operation to ensure a safe and compliant work environment at Naturich Labs. You will learn to identify and understand the unique hazards associated with forklift use, including the risks of tip-overs, collisions, and pedestrian safety concerns. We will go over the specifics of the forklifts used in our facility, ensuring you are familiar with their capabilities, limitations, and safety features. Additionally, we will focus on safe movement techniques when picking, stacking, and traveling with loads, helping you maintain stability and control at all times. A key part of this training is pre-use inspections, where you'll learn how to check forklifts for any mechanical issues before operating them. Finally, we will review OSHA's Powered Industrial Truck Standard, 29 CFR 1910.178, which requires all forklift operators to be properly trained and evaluated in an equipment and site-specific manner. At Naturich Labs, anyone who operates a forklift must be trained and certified to ensure safe operation. OSHA Regulation 29 CFR 1910.178 requires all forklift operators to have proper training so they have the knowledge and skills to operate forklifts safely. Certification is valid for 3 years, but operators must undergo retraining sooner if they have been involved in an accident or have been observed operating unsafely. Why is training necessary? Forklifts can be extremely dangerous if not used correctly. Improper operation can lead to serious injuries, fatalities, and costly workplace incidents. This is why proper training is not just required, it is essential to maintaining a safe work environment. The reality of forklift accidents every year, approximately 100 fatalities and 38,000 injuries occur due to forklift-related incidents. The most common types of forklift accidents include forklift overturns, 22%. The leading cause of forklift-related deaths usually happens due to excessive speed, uneven surfaces, or improper load handling. Worker on foot struck by forklift, 20%. Often occurs when visibility is poor, when turns are taken too fast, or when pedestrians are unaware of forklift movement. Victim crushed by forklift, 16%. Can happen if a forklift tips over or if an operator attempts to exit improperly. Falls from forklifts, 9%. Happens when operators or unauthorized personnel ride on forklifts while in motion or on elevated platforms. These statistics highlight the real dangers of forklift operation. Proper training, awareness, and safe practices can prevent accidents and save lives. At Naturich Labs, safety is our top priority. This training is designed to equip you with the skills and knowledge needed to operate a forklift confidently and responsibly. Many people assume that driving a forklift is just like driving a car, but that's not the case. Forklifts and automobiles have key differences that impact how they handle, turn, and operate safely. Forklifts are much heavier than most vehicles, ranging from 4,000 to 40,000 pounds, depending on the type. Unlike a car, forklifts use rear-wheel steering, which makes turning feel very different and can lead to instability if not handled correctly. They also have a higher center of gravity, meaning they can tip over more easily. Plus, when carrying a load, a forklift operator has reduced visibility, making it harder to see obstacles or pedestrians. In contrast, automobiles typically weigh between 2,000 and 6,000 pounds, have front-wheel steering, and a lower center of gravity, making them more stable and easier to control. Drivers also have clear visibility, making navigation safer and more predictable. Because of these differences, operating a forklift requires special training and awareness to ensure safety in the workplace. Every forklift is required to have a legible capacity plate, which contains critical safety information. This plate tells the operator how much weight the forklift can safely lift, how high it can go, and what attachments are approved for use. For example, a typical capacity plate includes details such as the model number, serial number, manufacturer information, and maximum load weight. Before operating a forklift, it is essential to check the capacity plate and ensure that the weight of the load and any attachments used do not exceed the limits. Overloading or using the wrong attachments can cause the forklift to become unstable and tip over, putting the operator and others at risk. Understanding and following the information on the capacity plate is a key part of safe forklift operation. Why are daily inspections important? Before operating a forklift, it is critical to perform a pre-use inspection. Not inspecting a forklift before use is dangerous because you have no idea what condition it was left in by the last operator. A small mechanical issue can quickly become a major safety hazard if left unchecked. OSHA requires forklifts to be inspected daily to ensure they are in safe working condition. That's why Naturich Labs requires operators to complete a forklift operation checklist every day before use. This checklist ensures that critical safety components like brakes, tires, lights, hydraulic systems, and alarms are all functioning properly. If any issue is found, the forklift must be taken out of service, and repairs must be made before operation. Daily inspections are not just a requirement, they are a key part of preventing accidents and ensuring workplace safety. Following basic safety rules is essential to prevent accidents and injuries while operating a forklift. First, forklifts are not passenger vehicles. They are built for one person only, so extra riders are never allowed. Keeping your arms and hands inside the cab at all times is crucial to avoid being caught between objects or struck by passing equipment. Wearing your seatbelt is a must. If a forklift tips over, the seatbelt prevents you from being thrown from the cab, which is the leading cause of fatal injuries in forklift rollovers. Distracted driving is dangerous, so do not talk to pedestrians while driving and never use a cell phone when operating a forklift. Stopping to communicate is the safest way to ensure clear instructions without risk. Lastly, safety glasses must be worn to protect against flying debris, dust, or chemical splashes that could impair vision. These simple but essential safety rules help keep you and your coworkers safe on the job. Handling and moving loads safely is one of the most important responsibilities of a forklift operator. The first step is to always check the forklift's capacity to ensure it can safely handle the load. Overloading a forklift increases the risk of tipping, which is a leading cause of forklift-related injuries. Next, assess the weight and stability of the load. If the weight is not marked, contact a supervisor before attempting to lift it. Never assume a forklift can handle an unmarked load. Guessing could lead to serious consequences. Before fully lifting, test the stability by raising the load 1 to 2 inches off the ground. Watch the rear wheels. If they lift or the forklift struggles, immediately lower the load. If needed, break the load into smaller, more manageable pieces to maintain safety. Lastly, if the load contains loose materials, strap or wrap it to the pallet. This prevents materials from shifting or falling, ensuring a safe and stable transport. Following these best practices will help prevent accidents and protect both workers and equipment. Understanding the forklift's balance system. Forklifts operate on a balance principle, similar to a seesaw. The front wheels serve as the fulcrum point, meaning the forklift pivots around this point. To keep the forklift stable, the rear of the forklift is equipped with heavy counterweights that offset the weight of the load being lifted. An unloaded forklift is actually less stable because most of the weight is in the rear. When a forklift is loaded, the weight is more evenly distributed, making it more stable. However, if the load is too heavy or positioned incorrectly, the forklift can tip forward, especially when the load is raised too high. To prevent this, always stay within the forklift's load capacity, lift loads properly, and avoid making sudden movements while carrying or raising loads. Understanding this balance system is critical for safe forklift operation. How the center of gravity affects forklift stability. A forklift remains stable as long as the center of gravity stays inside the stability triangle, but the moment it moves outside, the forklift is at risk of tipping over. Several actions can cause this shift, increasing the chance of an accident. One of the most common mistakes is picking up a load at the tip of the forks instead of fully supporting it. This shifts the CG forward, making the forklift more likely to tip. Tilting the load too far forward or too far back when raised also moves the CG beyond the stability triangle, making it harder to control. Wide loads shift the CG sideways, increasing the chance of a side tip over, especially if a sharp turn is made. Additionally, sudden movements, quick stops, and traveling on uneven surfaces can cause the CG to shift unexpectedly, reducing stability. Understanding how the center of gravity moves is critical to operating a forklift safely. Always keep the load balanced, positioned properly on the forks, and move cautiously to maintain stability. If your forklift starts to tip over, your instinct might be to jump out, but that is the most dangerous thing you can do. Many forklift-related fatalities happen when operators try to escape and get crushed under the forklift. Instead, always wear your seatbelt. It keeps you inside the protective cage where you're safest. Hold onto the steering wheel with both hands to stay stable. Keep your hands and arms inside the cab. Never reach out because the forklift can pin you against the ground. Plant your feet flat on the floor and press down, keeping yourself anchored in place. Most importantly, lean in the opposite direction of the tip. This helps counterbalance the shift in weight. By following these steps, you increase your chances of staying safe in a forklift tip over. Remember, the forklift's protective structure is designed to shield you, only if you stay inside. Why proper load centering matters. Proper load centering is crucial for forklift stability and safe operation. A forklift is designed to carry loads with a center of gravity within a specific range, usually at a 24-inch load center. If a load is positioned correctly, the forklift remains stable and operates smoothly. However, if the load is too far forward, off-center, or unevenly distributed, it shifts the center of gravity outside the stability triangle. This can lead to difficulty steering, loss of control, or even a tip over. To prevent accidents, always ensure the load is evenly placed, properly secured, and within the forklift's rated capacity before lifting or moving it. Handling loads safely is one of the most important skills for a forklift operator. The first step is to approach the load straight on, ensuring the forks are properly positioned. Stop about 1 foot away, level the forks, and drive forward slowly until the load rests against the backrest. Once positioned, lift the load just high enough to clear anything underneath. Excessive height increases instability. When backing out, check your surroundings, move slowly, and sound the horn if visibility is blocked. Tilting the mass slightly back helps stabilize the load. When setting down a load, square up to the designated area, stop about a foot away, and lower the load carefully while keeping the forks level. Always tilt the forks slightly forward to release the load smoothly. Some critical safety reminders. Never lift a load while moving. Always stack loads properly and check your surroundings before reversing. Safe handling ensures both efficiency and workplace safety. Safe traveling guidelines. When transporting a load, proper positioning and controlled movement are key to maintaining forklift stability and safety. The load should always be tilted slightly back to keep it secure and prevent it from shifting forward. Load height is critical. Keeping the forks 4 to 6 inches at the tips and 2 to 4 inches at the heels prevents unnecessary risk while maintaining ground clearance. If the load is too high, the forklift center of gravity is thrown off, increasing the chance of a tip over. Always drive at a controlled speed and avoid sharp turns or sudden stops. If you cannot see over the load, operate the forklift in reverse to maintain visibility. Most importantly, never approach personnel who are in front of a fixed object. If an accident occurs, they could be trapped and seriously injured. Maintaining proper load handling and travel procedures reduces the risk of accidents and improves workplace safety. Key rules for safe operation on slopes. Driving a forklift on ramps and inclines requires special precautions to maintain stability and prevent tipping. The key rule is to always keep the heavier end of the forklift facing uphill. If the forklift is loaded, the heavier end is in the front, so you should drive forward up the incline to keep the load stable. When coming down the incline, drive in reverse, keeping the load pointed uphill. If the forklift is unloaded, The heavier end is in the rear, so you should drive forward down the ramp to maintain control. When going up the ramp without a load, drive in reverse to prevent the rear from lifting. Following these best practices ensures stability, load security, and overall forklift safety when navigating slopes and ramps. Parking a forklift safely is just as important as operating it correctly. OSHA defines an unattended forklift as one where the operator is either more than 25 feet away while it is in sight, or when the forklift is no longer in their view. Whenever you stop and leave a forklift, always lower the forks flat to the ground, turn off the engine, and set the parking brake to prevent unintended movement. It is also critical that forklifts never block exits, emergency equipment, or important signs. Fire extinguishers, eye wash stations, and alarm systems must remain accessible at all times. By following these best practices, you help maintain a safe and organized workspace. Forklifts and pedestrians must coexist safely in the workplace, and it is the operator's responsibility to avoid accidents. Pedestrians always have the right of way, so be prepared to stop when needed. At intersections, always slow down and check for foot traffic before proceeding. When backing up, take extra caution, look over both shoulders, check blind spots, and never assume the path is clear. Whenever approaching a blind corner or an intersection, use your horn to warn others of your presence. If mirrors are installed, use them to check for movement before continuing. One of the most dangerous situations is allowing someone to walk under the forks. Whether the forklift is loaded or empty, never permit anyone to pass beneath the raised forks, as this can lead to severe injury or death. By following these pedestrian safety rules, we can prevent accidents and create a safer working environment for everyone. Forklifts are more hazardous than they may appear, and safe operation requires constant awareness, proper training, and strict adherence to safety protocols. One of the most important steps in forklift safety is performing daily pre-use inspections. A forklift with mechanical issues should never be operated, as it can lead to dangerous situations. Understanding how load stability affects forklift balance is also crucial. Always ensure loads are properly secured, centered, and kept at the correct height to prevent tipping accidents. Operators must also be constantly aware of hazards and pedestrians. Forklift operators should always yield the right of way and communicate clearly in shared workspaces to prevent collisions. So, what should you do moving forward? Follow the safety practices from this training. Always wear your seatbelt. Inspect the forklift daily and report any issues. Remember, low and slow. Keep loads low for stability and drive at a controlled speed. At Naturich Labs, safety is our top priority. Your commitment to safe forklift operation helps protect you, your coworkers, and the workplace. Thank you for your attention and dedication to safety. Let's work together to create a safer environment for everyone.